Oh, okay, there we go. Did that work? I'm all a mess today. Let's see. Focus. Is audio working? Let me check my audio. Levels look like they're coming through. All right, sorry everybody. It's a different day, and so I'm all off schedule apparently. It is not the normal streaming schedule. Alright, let me put my chat monitor up there. Okay. All right. I can see the chat. You can see me. You can hear me. No, it is my son's birthday tomorrow, and we're taking a little family trip. So I moved the stream up a day, so we're doing it. Oh, it still says February 26th in the description, doesn't it? I'll go fix that up after the stream. But welcome everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the Binary Ninja live stream. This one's a little more chill. We don't have a ton of stuff on the agenda. If you saw the countdown clock, there's two things that I've got highlighted. One is I'm going to build a plugin. So I've got a snippet that's kind of grown, and I want to grow it a little bit more, and I'm going to turn it into a plugin, and I'll show everybody what goes into making a plugin. It's pretty straightforward, but we'll also talk about the new behavior since just a couple weeks ago, since Peter has updated his the way the plugin manager works with the automatic dependency installation. So we're going to play with that and see if my new switcher works. Oh, it makes me so excited. Okay, so I've got a new toy I'm playing with there, a little stream deck. So let's see. First things first, I am going to start with, I'll show you what the current behavior is, right? So we've got a snippet that I wrote, and oh, that's right, we'll choose our theme for the day as well. Does anybody have any suggestions for today's theme? Embers. Let's take a look at embers and see what that looks like. It's a little flat, but that's not bad. It's it works for me. I don't know what chat thinks about it. If y'all have suggestions, or if you prefer me just go back to the regular one, that works too. I've also messed with my lighting. You'll notice I've got like the fancy streamer red blue thing going on. Yeah, it is a bit, that's probably a bit muted for the smaller font size that I'm running now. So let's do something a little bit 80s. Ooh, I'm a child of the 80s. I like this. Ooh, this looks, oh, that's pretty good. I could live with this. This is also, again, not super high contrast, but I think that's a little better than Ember. Let's go with that, I think. It feels weird I'm not wearing headphones today because it's just me. There's nobody else on stream, so I'm like thinking I should be hearing y'all, but we'll catch you in chat. So here is the snippet editor. And I use my little snippet installer. So if you go to the, where is it? GitHub, this link, which I really should know. I needed a turtle emoji. Actually, I'm gonna leave that up. I want that turtle emoji. I'm gonna need that here in a second. I don't know how to get the emoji picker in Linux, so I'm gonna need that for some what we're gonna work on. So this is my little collection of snippets. I've shown it, I think, a couple months ago on stream. Oh, you're watching me. Welcome, RJ. Watching me live, and I'm not at 1.5 speed. I'll try to talk faster for you then. I usually talk pretty quick as it is, but I can always go fast now. I don't want to crank it up too much. But my normal talking speed is relatively quick. I've wanted to go back and like actually hear my own streams and see what I sound like at 1.5, but I cringe too much hearing myself talk, so haven't done it yet. So the snippet collection, these are just like little samples of anytime I think of something interesting, or anytime I want to show off a usage pattern in like the API, and it's not big enough to justify a full plugin, but it's larger than maybe what would belong in documentation for a single API call, I just throw out this little collection of snippets. One thing that we've talked about doing that I probably should do is ship it by default with the snippet editor. So that like when you install snippet editor, it's like examples, and there's just a folder of all these as examples. That would usually come in handy. But in the meantime, what I want to look at is this particular, where did it go? Functional tags. So functional tags start, I don't remember exactly why it started, but the idea behind this plugin is that it takes it takes just a couple like random attributes of functions that you might care about, and then just tags the function with an emoji. So it actually adds, in this case, it creates a user tag. So yeah, the idea was that this would show off both the tag API, and we can see how that happens. So if I go ahead and run this, and we see if we have any. Oh, that wasn't particularly good. Let me try a different binary. Let's see what we got. What's good? I think I have the samples folder, 8 MB malware, and then this challenge 2. Yeah, these are relatively small. Functional tags. Oh, wait, let's double check. Okay, so no errors. Oh, wait, also, I forgot the most important thing. I always try to make sure I'm on the latest dev right before I do the stream. I didn't do that yet, so let's kick that off. Alvaro, you know what? We have not actually sent out all of our resume applicants yet. If you can get me an email to jobs@vector35.com today, like maybe before the stream is over, then we can take a look at it tonight and get back in touch with you, because we have not made the final decision for all the intern slots. So you lucked out a little bit if you do it right away, but don't delay. So yeah, thanks for asking that. We actually got a little bit of fewer applicants this year than years past, which is weird because I figured this is the first year that we had remote interns, and so I thought we'd actually have a much higher percentage of applicants, but there were fewer. So I don't know if what's behind that. So my snippet didn't do anything. Oops, that was the wrong one. Oh, that's right. I also have Alt-S, right? There's another hotkey that I've found for this. Okay, so let's see. A leaf function, a loop function, a stub function. I feel like some of these should have happened. Let's just do this real quick. If else. So let's do this real quick, and we should get a bunch of, yep, please run it, and we should get a show log. All right, did not make a text. So it is running. The plugin is successfully running. Yeah, yes, Josh, I am. I'm doing a new theme every episode. Part of it is, I want to, I mean, the downside is it's maybe a little jarring to people that are used to one, and maybe it would be better to stick with one. But I intentionally like showing off different themes because I feel like different people will find out ones that they like. Some will be like, oh, that's a cool theme. What was that theme? So I try to describe at the beginning of each stream which theme I'm using for that week, or we decide it on stream, and then if people want to check it out, they can do that. Especially with all those base 16 themes, there's just a ton to choose from now too. So that was weird. The updates really hung for a while there, like 60%. So let's make sure we got the latest dev. 2669, that sounds right. I've still got plenty of plugins. I was doing lots of plugin stuff, so we've got a lot of plugins in this build. And let us actually, so this one will be definitely a little bit slower, but this is a 132K sys BNDB. So this is a little bit beast of a function. This will take my plugin probably a little while. Or my snippet rather, a little while, but that's fine because while it's going, we'll be doing some other stuff with it. So, oh, it's going to trigger analysis, yeah. Reanalysis there. While I'm doing this, let's see, let's turn on the Python console and let's rearrange. I want to have this go here. Yeah, there it is, right there. I like this kind of layout. One thing I wish we had is like the ability to save layouts. It'd be nice to be able to be like, yeah, this layout, keep it. Although I might, let's see, I think I'll move Python console to this side of the log window. So console, log, reflection view, and then whatever other function I'm in here. So, all right. Let's see. All right. Oh, nice. Yeah, it looks like we'll have a guest on the next stream to talk to, and that will be fun. So Tim, who just published, we'll do a little teaser. Probably can find it from here. if y'all did not yet read this blog post, you should definitely check it out, which is this one right here. Yeah. Blazitko? I don't even want to guess. I would definitely get that name wrong. So I apologize, Tim, for mispronouncing your name. I don't know if he's watching right now, but yeah, he just messaged me back and said he would come on. We can talk about this. I think this is really cool. It's talking about being able to detect control flow flattening. So one of many obfuscation techniques that malware or other programs that want to hide what they're doing will apply. And he's using dominators essentially and control flow analysis to be able to identify this looks shady. Turns out that the same implementation also detects state machines. So you might look at that and be like, oh, well, it didn't work then. It didn't succeed at the exact goal, but it's actually really useful for another reason too, which is, oh, actually, if I just had say I was doing vulnerability research and I wanted to analyze a binary, where the first places I would look for bugs, they would be in parsers and state machines. And so his plugin can just find those essentially using the same kind of heuristic. So it's kind of a neat approach. So definitely go check that out. Like I said, you can find it from the Vector35 Twitter. We've retweeted it just a couple tweets ago. And next week we'll talk to Tim on stream. I'll bring him on and talk some more about that. So okay, let's see. We are looking at snippets. All right, we're going to run this one. So let's run our functional tags snippet. And one thing you'll notice, see, there's one thing that I want to fix right away, is it hung the UI. Right, so because this is, so Python, it run as a snippet or run here in the Python console will actually block the UI. It does that because it's not running in the background thread, but we can change that. So when we turn this into a plugin, we'll go ahead and make it a background thread. So let's see, the first thing I'm gonna do is, do I already have it? Yeah, all right, first thing we do is, do we have snippets? Yeah. I'm just going to take snippets and copy that over into, we're going to call this functional tags. I don't know. It's not a great name. We'll publish this as a Git repo later. We don't need Qt code editor. We don't need the PyCache. I am going to keep do release. I am going to keep generate plugin info. License is fine. I'm going to get rid of media. We don't need that. And I think if we Python generate plugin info. So these are, I'm starting with the snippets plugin to kind of build my plugin on because it already has a couple of these helper scripts. So this do release script is useful because of the way that the plugins for Binary Ninja plugins require a GitHub release and a tag. And the plugin in JSON to be updated, all of this version information, and the do release will do all that stuff for you. So we'll show that off a little bit later. And the generate plugin info, this can actually make us the README. It can make us the plugin.json. Actually, does it make the plugin.json or does it parse? I think it does. Oh, this is Git editor data. I didn't write that one. Interesting. I think Peter may have added that one. Or someone else. I don't remember doing that. Okay, so this is a script that will actually let us generate the plugin info a little bit more easily. So let's do this, Python 3 generate plugin info and see what options we've got. All right, we want to generate all information needed. So it's actually going to make a license file, a README, and a plugin.json for us. And we're going to force overriding everything else that's already there. That's fine. Okay, so the plugin name is functional tags. And I didn't even explain quite yet, but what this plugin is going to do is it's going to just apply user tags based on different properties. So we're going to come up with some. Be thinking in chat. I would love to hear your ideas of what super high cyclomatic complexity, super low cyclomatic complexity. Actually, we probably could even go take, I don't want to steal Tim's thunder, but we could take something like his analysis and apply it too. It's very similar, right? You take any kind of thing that you want to create a standalone function and then add it to this plugin. So enter your name with the name you want this plugin to center. We'll just go say Vector35. I don't know if I'll make this an official plugin or not. So one thing is that the GitHub repo there's two actual repos. So there's official plugins, and then there's community plugins. Community plugins. There we go. So there's official and there's community plugins. And you'll see that there's a README that shows all of the plugins from each of the people. The official ones are a little bit smaller of a list. They do show up as well differently in the plugin manager, I believe now. So did that land? I think that was part of Peter's change. Maybe, yeah. So you'll notice that the blue ones, the highlighted ones here, are the official plugins. So you can actually see in the UI now which one's which. Yeah, I know my date's off. Thank you for. See, I should just say that I was waiting till you guys to notice. I'll change it now though. I don't wanna confuse people. The description's also way off, but all right. I usually yeah, you can tell how behind I am on a stream, whether or not I have that done before I've started or not. But what I do is at the end of every stream, I actually go back and find all the timestamps for when I talked about different topics, or if I had somebody who joined to talk about a particular plugin or something. And so those timestamps go in the description. So I usually make sure that the changes are there. Oh, bummer, Alvaro. Yeah. Unfortunately, we talked about having like interns as 1099 kind of contractor stuff, but there's actually some legal concerns with that, and it's a little bit of a headache. So for now, anyways, like remote is great, but you do have to be able to legally work in the U.S. So either U.S. citizen or international students that are here on student visas can also do it too through a thing called CV something. There's some acronym for like continuing ed. Basically, you can use your student visa to get an internship as long as it's in your field, which if you're on a computer science degree, then we would count. So yeah, so you can see, like I said, these are the official plugins, and the unofficial ones just don't have that color highlight. But you can sort of choose which repository I was going to add the plugin to, if I want to make it an official Vector 35 one, or if I want to make this the one a little more on the down low, and I don't want people to like think it's an officially like maintained plugin. I could put it over here in the community one and just put it under my personal handle. So don't really have a preference on that. We'll see there. So let's just say Ciphertext. My GitHub handle. All right, what type of plugin is this? This is a helper. It doesn't create a binary view or an architecture UI or core. No, I'm gonna just call it a helper. I don't know. We probably need a newer list of categories. I think we could probably improve some of these. Only Python 3. The script should actually be updated. Let me grab my notebook, because we should not even allow you to select Python 2 anymore, because we definitely do not support that. In fact, we just made another change where we removed the Linux install script setup where you used to check for Python 2. It doesn't do that anymore either. Also, I'm thinking about moving the whole stream to Wednesdays or another day. So tell me what you guys think about different days of the week or even different times. From generate plugin info, yeah. Plugin info. And so Piston Miner, your question is, the dependencies field is just dead. Yes. Yeah, that's a great question, and we're gonna be covering that on the stream. But the short explanation is, when we first came up with the plugin.json file format and kind of how we wanted plugins to work, we actually came up with the structure of it before we even had a UI for the plugin manager, just because we were hoping that people would start, it's a little chicken and the egg. Like, you build a plugin manager, but there's no plugins to go in it. And then if you don't have the plugin manager, is everyone going to even do the plugin.json? So we actually had the spec published before we had any UI that would show it. But just recently, Peter was working on, it actually was one of those like scratch your own itch kind of things, where he had a project he was working on where he wanted to be able to easily deploy and install plugins, and they had a bunch of Python dependencies. And so he was like, that's super annoying. Why doesn't Binding Ninja just install the dependencies for me? And it's like, well, yeah, I know. We would all like that. If you got time to go work on it, go do it. So he did. So he added that functionality. It landed before the last stable, I think. I'm trying to remember when, or maybe he waited until after the stable to hit that in. I have to go double check. So the new way of doing it, to Piston Miner's question, the new way of doing it is, instead of, you used to, in fact, if I actually come over into my snippets plugin and count my plugin Python-mjson.tool, is that the way to do it? Yeah. The way that you used to be able to do it was you would specify dependencies here, and you actually had like a dict you could add in, or object, I guess it's JSON, so whatever. You could add pip with an array of pip dependencies, but it didn't do anything. Like nothing would actually happen. And so Peter added that ability to do it. But when he was doing it, he actually decided instead. In fact, I think yep, there we go. The dwarf import plugin, for example, has this now. There's now actually a requirements.txt file. And this is like the pip standard way of doing things. So instead of implementing our own infrastructure syntax in the plugin of JSON, we just moved it over into requirements.txt. So yes, dependencies has never actually been used. It was always there for informational purposes. But now that we have requirements.txt parsing and actual like following it, installing it, using pip to install it, there's really no point in doing it. So that's another point that my script should actually clean up. Remove dependencies probably. Or no, I should put it in requirements. Deps into requirements. So I want to make a note of that. Damon says, did I end up the 12-volt battery? It charged, it came back, and then I took it to the dealership and they actually just replaced it. So I do have, it was just the little 12-volt. So that was back when I got stuck in my car. All right, so requirements.txt is now the canonical way of doing this. So we're Python 3 and this new plugin. The short description of this plugin. Okay, so this is my functional tags. Tags functions using appropriate or using just using emoji for a number of interesting characteristics. And the full description. So I really should see, this is one thing actually a lot of people miss, is they'll make a README, and then they'll just put like a 2-sentence description here. The better way to make a plugin, especially when you're using the script or doing it this way, is actually write up your full README. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing functional tags. And we'll call it functional tags. Oh, it's already gonna have that. Let's see. I don't really have a whole. Actually, I could take some screenshots. So let's wait to the end. We'll update this at the end once we actually have some screenshots we're showing off. We'll add that back in. Long description here. So don't worry about that for now. License. We've actually been using Apache lately, so we'll select that. Sure. We'll call it ciphertext. And what platforms? Comma separated list 0, 1, 2. We're going to support all platforms. No directions. And the version string, we're going to call this 1.0. Minimum build number. This plugin should work with just about everything. There's really nothing that this would not work on. And so I'm going to go pull a really old build number out of the Binary Ninja blog. When we first announced plugin manager. Yeah, so the first announced the plugin manager. We have a demonstration here. 0. Well, that's not probably a good one. Probably don't want to use 0. Okay, so let's just do Binary Ninja changelog. Which, by the way, that gets cached way too aggressively. So if I shift reload, it'll probably give me the new one. I need to change the settings on that so it doesn't cache it as aggressively. Make a note of that too. But this is the changelog for the stable releases. So Piston Miner, my understanding, and I'm not necessarily the expert in this, is that the requirements.txt best practice is to pin a particular version. And you can do that because that's like the standard requirements.txt pin version. Yeah, you can do like a range or an exact version. So here's the pluses and downsides to this, right? The advantage of this is that like your plugin will always work with that exact version and it's very explicit. That's, I think, generally considered better practice. I don't do that. And the reason I don't do that is because I'm lazy and I want to have a lot of different plugins. And maybe if you pin a particular version of protobuf, but your plugin hasn't updated in a while, but somebody else's plugin pins a different particular version of protobuf, your plugins won't be compatible because you can't have both versions installed at the same time. So yeah, just putting protobuf, if you're not using anything fancy and you're going to want as much support as general as possible, like you can just put the exact thing, or you can specify the exact syntax. But again, I don't know. I think because Binary Ninja is this sort of plugin ecosystem where you're liable to have lots of plugins at the same time, it makes sense to not pin versions as aggressively as other things. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And it is worth noting that this is the same functionality that added all this, where we've got the dependencies to be installed, also has given us the virtual environment, right? So we can actually let's just do this. Let's go look in the Python folder or the Python's category, and you'll see that we can point at a virtual env, and that will let our pip install into that virtual env. And we can also choose a Python interpreter out of the virtual env. So this lets us work with virtual envs currently. So that's kind of nice. So that does mean that, you know, if you do have a dependency that doesn't match your system one, you could make it work. It would be pinned for just Binary Ninja, installed to a virtual environment. But all right, where do we go? Minimum build number. Yeah, let's go back and look. What do we decide? I mean, it's something pretty old. I want to say like there's a 1500. Yeah, 1555 is one that I think we used for a while. That's from 2 years ago, almost exactly. All right, so let's do that. And just to note, this is just the build number. It's not the version. It's just the strict, whoops, numpad doesn't work. It's just the strict build number, right? So just the 4-digit ID. Yeah, I think I don't really like a lot of the dependency management and most of the languages out there. I think I have problems with most of them. I think npm is probably my favorite. Gems are not. I feel like they just break a lot. Maybe I'm just bad with that, but like using them with Jekyll, for example, I'm not a huge fan of those. I haven't used pip and their notations a bunch. I'm just still kind of annoyed with them because of the fact that you can't call them like a library and you have to shell out essentially. That's made architecting the Binary Ninja stuff really, really annoying. That's just not a use case they support, is working with this embedded Python. They're really only working with the main one, but you know, I'm sure they've got good reasons. So yeah. All right. So we're going to 5055 for a minimum build number. All right. Now the nice thing is that script has kind of done everything for us, right? So it has created us a README. And again, instead of actually, you know what? I think too, you can get rid of installation instructions in the README, but I need to go look back and look at that. But instead of editing the README from now on, like the best practice is to edit the plugin.json and then regenerate. Using just the plugin.json, you can regenerate this. So long description here, once I get an image, you know, we're gonna put that in there. And then it's generate plugin info. And what we can do is we can say just generate the README, right? And then force overwrite the README. So that will take our plugin.json information and then generate the README and add the new description in there. So I usually use like VS Code or some editor to write a full longer README in Markdown or Markdown editor, and then I'll escape new lines, and then I'll just toss it straight into my plugin.json and then regenerate it just to force that to be consistent. So, and the reason that we're doing that is because it's this plugin.json long description field. This is what gets used in the Binary Ninja plugin manager. So all of the information here. Oh wait, I guess am I on this side of it? So is this it? I forget. Yeah, all the information over here, I'm on the other side of the screen from where I'm looking, is being generated by that long description. And then links to image and stuff, you have to format this syntax. So actually, if we look at the way Snippets does it, for example, Snippets has this animated image, and we can look at the source code. Yeah. That is bang. I know the way to do it. Come on. So yeah, the long description here, yeah, you'll see there's the image syntax, right, to load an animated image, which is really nice. I really encourage people, if you've got a plugin, to do an animated image. So all right, so we've got everything except our code. So now let's get our code. Let's edit our init. Actually, let me do let's do Visual Studio Code just on this this whole folder here, and our init.py. We're gonna nuke all of this stuff because we don't need any of this. We're gonna throw a snippet into it essentially. Oops. And what I'd like to do, so let's just this is bad practice. But just gonna make sure it's loaded, and then I'm going to actually so I like to go into my plugin folder and just do a symlink, plugins, symlink from wherever I'm developing the plugin into it. But it's worth it, Piston Miner. Even if it took you 20 takes, it's totally worth it to get that animated preview. I think really improves the readability of that and makes it clean. So all right, so we're gonna link in, what do we call this, functional tags, and we're going to, do I have that hotkey? Oops, yeah. Okay, I do have the hotkey bound. So I usually bind restart Binder Ninja to a hotkey. I use Command Alt Control R. And all right, so I don't know what book is. I don't know if I want to open this on stream. I might run into something that I shouldn't. Let me see here. Do I have something? I need a better binary. Well, actually, let's. The Winter Decay full should work. I think something's wrong with this too. And actually, somebody just recently made a comment. So let's test something out really quickly in snippets. Let's just make sure snippets themselves are working. So sure. Just does some log info for number of IL instructions in the whole binary. All right, that worked. Okay, so the snippets in general are working. And that's kind of annoying. It should open back up. Snippets bug. If you're in a subfolder, open it back up. So I do in the queue settings, actually I save which snippet you had selected, which is really nice if you're editing the same snippet, because you can just like close it down and come back in. You should be in the same one, which you'll notice I am on the right half there. I've got the appropriate snippet, but it just doesn't expand the folder view to match whichever one you have selected. It is still selected. So it's kind of a minor UI bug that I should go fix. All right, so functional tags are here. So let's just take a look at this and let's see if I can, oops, one of these hotkeys lets me resize. No, I'm holding it like meta key and then doing like Windows. No, all right, I fail at that. I need to learn the window manager for like modal dialogues in this window manager. Yeah, GIFs. Okay, so as an aside, Piston Miner, for GIFs getting too large, there is an amazing website. Yeah, EasyGIF, which looks a little bit janky, but EasyGIF is fantastic for compressing animated GIFs, especially for ones that are like screenshots, right, where they're low color count. There's a bunch of like tricks you can do. So I will. Let's see, optimize. Yeah, optimize it, but then there's, well, yeah, let's actually open one up. Let We should have the one that was in dev. Oh, actually, do I have Bomb Lab? I have Bomb Lab. That's what I'm going to try that for my tags here in a second. Snippets, media, snippets.gif. All right, so if you've uploaded your GIF TT, as long as it's less than 35 megs, you do have that upper limit on it. But this is super nice because you can crop it, flip it, overlay text, whatever you want, kind of annotate it all online. But the main thing is these right here. These stuff you can, GIFsicle can optimize too, and that's equivalent to one of these. I forget which one. It does a couple of these, but this optimized transparency, that's the money shot, especially for screenshots, right? Because you're basically able to like, it will only update the portions of, it'll make a GIF that only contains the parts that have updated and moved since the last frame. Like normally it doesn't do that. There's just lots of separate GIFs and like, yeah, they're compressed really well. So that helps a lot, but only literally like basically adding in transparency based on only the things that optimized are like, that has been my absolute favorite feature for shrinking massive GIFs. So like this one, which is again, you look at that resolution, pretty large, is 4 megs. That's still pretty large. No, is it? Yeah, it's 4 megs. Did I not shrink this one? Actually, let me try this. Let's see. Let us optimize transparency. I may not have done it on this GIF. Maybe I had... it could also just be that it's, I mean, yeah, GIFs in general are not very efficient, and that's a very large one. But let's see. Is this one going? Oh, it's still going, yeah. But yeah, playing around with like different orders of these optimizers too, and trying color reduction, trying all the different ones, and like do, you know, save the transparency one for last. I think, I forget. I played around with like several different options. Yeah, look at that. There we go. With basically no loss in visible quality, that just dropped it down to 1.26 megs. Welcome, Carson. I'm not actually REing yet, or sort of am. What we're doing today is we're building a plugin. So I'm taking an old snippet that I wrote that, where'd it go? Yeah, this one. Functional tags. Tags? There we go. This old snippet that I wrote, which goes through and just tags functions with an emoji for different popular like for features that you might care about in the function. So like you want kind of like an overview of which functions you think are interesting because they're either really large or really small, or because they're leased, or because they're called a lot, or whatever. Like, yeah, actually complex function is another one. This actually has cyclomatic complexity added to it. Did my local one? No, it didn't. I need to actually update this. So I can just run this one, I believe. Run this snippet. Yes. Use at your own risk. It's going to literally overwrite and download from Gist all these snippets. So now, there we go. Now we've got the updated version of this snippet. So yeah, I actually added cyclomatic complexity to this a while back. Somebody pointed out that the Ghidra had a cyclomatic complexity API, and I was like, oh, we need a cyclomatic complexity API. And Peter was like, have you actually looked what the cyclomatic complexity API actually is? And then I went and looked. And it's just this. It's literally, I mean, you could make this a one-liner so easily. It's literally edges, which is the, you know, sum the outgoing edges of every basic block, subtract the number of basic blocks, add 2 times the number of connection. And in this case, because binary control flow graphs are, is that because it's unidirectional? I forget, but like that's just a constant 1. So you could easily fold all this into a single API, or a single line of the function, but make it a little bit cleaner, easier to read. And so you'll see, for example, I've got this is complex, is leaf. If it's a leaf function, if it doesn't call any other functions, it's large. If the length, you know, number of basic blocks is over 40, pick some constant, whatever you want to tune. I've got this here. And so this is actually one of the things we're going to do. In a snippet, this is how I would do it. In a plugin, I'd make this a setting, and I actually would have a setting that you could set through the UI. And so let's go ahead and do that. So let's take this whole thing here. And I was going to do the if loaded thing, but let's not do that. One thing you'll notice that is different between going from a snippet to a plugin, snippets get full access to the same shortcuts that you get in the console. So like the current binary is just always BV, and current function is literally a thing. So I can use current function in a snippet to have it. What is it? Oh, that's right. Okay. So to have it act on that particular function. Or in this case, you can see I'm actually for function in bv.functions. So I'm iterating over all the functions in the current binary view. I don't get that in a plugin. Like in a plugin, it's up to me to tell Binary Ninja what kind of plugin I am, how I want to be registered, how I want to be activated. And that's done mainly through the register APIs. So if we just look for register, and I spell it right. Wait a minute. The fact that I searched for that and I got something means there's typos. Hold on. Huh? Okay. Let me in another window. I need to go grab the API. Let's see. Okay, it's just the one. That is funny. Python settings registered. Okay, cool. We found a typo, so that's gonna get fixed. Instead, let's actually search for register. This time, which we should find lots of things because you'll get actual registers, you'll get register for plugins, register for notifications, which gets you all sorts of callbacks. In fact, there's some new notifications you can now do. And yeah, there's a lot of ways you can get registered for callbacks. My plugin is pretty simple. Yeah, plugins can totally have settings. See, this is why we're doing it. This is exactly. Oh, it's super nice. It's super nice. Register on more stuff like types. Ooh, so when you Piston Miner, when you say you want to register for a type, are you talking about you want like if a new type is added? Or you're saying no, like if a type has been set, you want to be able to like if somebody right clicks on that type to then have your plugin be available, but not in the general context. Is that what you're thinking? Like, yeah, explain a little more what you're thinking here. But this sounds like a good idea. All right. So yeah, so in this case, I want my plugin to just be a plugin that I register for a binary view. That's all I'm going to do. Is I'm just going to do register plugin. So did I misspell it again? Hold on. Where is this? Register for add. Here we go. Plugin command. Register for address. Register. Just register, not register plugin. Okay. So if I have the plugin command, all right. So this is the snippet as it currently exists. So let's see here. We're gonna to-do turn into settings. These helper functions are fine. This, I'm going to make this not a setting for now. We're going to still leave this a part of the code. I don't know what's it doing here. Let's do 386. Extensions have been modified. That's fine. Okay. So I don't know why I did that. It's kind of weird. I guess just readability. Okay, that's fine. Okay, yeah. Types to see, so register for. Oh no, my chat box is going to shut off on me. Oh no, hold on. I need to plug in power for my my iPad chat, or else I'm going to lose. That's that. I need USB-C. Oh, that'll work. Also, no judgment on the cleanliness of my office today. It's pretty bad. This is not my finest moment. All right, there we go. The iPad has power, so it shouldn't die midstream now. Speaking of which, how are we doing on time? Plenty of time. Good. All right. So we've got our tag types. Init tags is just going to create, and we don't want to do that yet, though. What we're going to do is All right, so we're going to add our new API, which is, and how do we, right. So I'm doing from binary ninja import star. This is actually not good practice. So let's fix this. We're going to from binary ninja import plugin command. And that might be all we need, actually. Let's wait and see, because for now, most of this stuff we're going to be able to do. We'll need settings as well, but we'll get to that in a second. And so we're going to do a plugin command register. And because I've set, so I'm getting these tooltips in VS Code because I've done the install API script that comes on the command line, and I don't know if y'all can hear that. It was loud upstairs. So because I've done, Binary Ninja, wherever you got Binary Ninja installed, there's a scripts folder, and there's Linux set up, which will call install API, or you can just call install API directly. This will actually add a PTH file, so that's what lets me on headless. If I've got a commercial license, I can just import Binary Ninja and then just do stuff. But even on a personal license, if you don't have that, you can actually still get this information by doing the same thing. So you can add Binary Ninja to your path, which lets you get access to all of this helpful information. So the name, the description, and then the action, what we actually want to call. And then you can actually have an isValid callback. So isValid is a function to be, so that's a per view callback. Okay, so piston miner, the one thing I was gonna say, there is a UI action that you can register, and UI actions are way more powerful. They can actually tell they get past a UI context object. So I think you can do what you want with your type by registering a UI action, and then having your context handler, the isValid context handler for that, actually check and say, is the token that's currently selected a type? If so, yes, return true, I'm valid for it. If not, no. And that will give you that right-click ability on just types without any other kind of APIs. So I think that's doable. We can try that later on stream, or we can follow up separately. So we're going to register functional tags. What do we got? So we got name, description, tag functions with emoji for various properties. And we're going to call init. And then we're going to make, actually, is that a problem? No, it's not. Init, and we're going to be given a binary view. Because we just did register, just the register function. Yeah, I believe that UI functions could let you distinguish between variable and type and all that different stuff. I got to double check that. Or if Brian or one of the other guys that's on that knows that wants to confirm. But I'm pretty certain that you can do that, because you get a UI context, which has a lot more information about the state of things. The one thing I will note, though, is that the nice thing about these plugins is just a regular plugin registers itself for the binary view. It could be headless. It could be however you're running. You could actually have access to that plugin. Actually, is that true? Yeah, in headless you can trigger a registered plugin, I believe. But also things like architectures and binary views and transforms, when you register those, they're just accessible through the core, right? So there are some things you can register. UI actions obviously are only for like the UI. Okay, so first we're going to just make sure we have all these tags. And I believe I already tested this, so that like if the tag, it is. If the tag doesn't already exist in the current binary views tags, but you'll notice I'm calling BV here. I should actually just pass it in to make sure I'm working on the right one. And that should be good. So we're going to add tags. We're going to give it the BV. And then we are going to iterate over all the functions. And this is in the tags is tags. Oh, all right, tags are down here, right? I'm actually going to move this up top, so we'll have all of our sort of static variables in one place. And I'm going to move my register at the very bottom. I like to see it there. So yeah, that's right, Josh. That's right. I do remember your plugin that shows that process. I'm lazy, and I usually just do a straight up import and then trigger it that way, because you could also just separately if you're in a headless binary ninja. You'd have to have this, yeah, so if the user path would have to be in your same path though. So that would be a little bit different, but you could also just import functional tags, which won't work now. So you have to do, yeah, import sys.path.append. Have I not saved it yet? Functional tags. Save. I don't know if the tilde works there. I may have to spell it out. V35. Where's my, yeah, V35. Yeah, okay, so I've got an error here. That's fine. Yeah, that does match, does it? Whatever editor it was. Oh, the snippet editor had different indentations for that apparently, or I messed it up when I indented it. Okay, so let's see this. Oops. What am I doing? Why is save deleting a character? I am vimming poorly today. Okay. I blame the fact that these are spaces, not tabs. I actually like tabs for Python. I'm sorry. So, right, what we're doing is then we're iterating over all of these types of tags that we can add. And this is just like a little convenient structure. It's kind of like a dispatcher, right? So that I can extend this thing really easily. I just give it the tag that I want to add, the name of the tag, description for what it got, and then a function that just returns true, false, which is what they're all called, like is whatever, to actually determine that. Okay. So, and let's go back here and let's say large and complex anything over 40. So let's open one of these binaries, or challenge 2. Actually, just for kicks, let's make let's just make complex something like, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's just like make it 10, because that should trigger there. And then we're going to restart. I hit 1 to reload whatever the last file I had open was. Another trick is you can open, oops, binary ninja -dev binary ninja -dev, or is it, wait, where is it? Oh, I just have it in there. Okay. All right, so if I open binary ninja, all right, if I open it and then I pass in an argument on the command line. Yeah, I know. I always don't think that it just, you get so used to using tilde on everywhere that you forget, like, it's actually just the shell adding that. So let's see, what was the file that was challenge 2? Stream samples, I think. Stream samples challenge 2.go. So if you launch Binary Ninja with a file on the command line, and I don't even need this terminal, so I'm gonna kill it. Oh, I should have no-hoped. Okay, that worked eventually. Okay. What I can actually do is if I use that restart hotkey, or just use the command palette to restart, it comes right back up with the same file. So if you're doing like architecture development or binary view development where you want to reload Binary Ninja frequently, then that's a really convenient way to do it. So Brian added that feature, and it's a little subtle thing, but it's super useful if you have a reload heavy workflow. All right, so now I should have my plugin here, my functional tags. So actually, you know what? Let's. I was gonna say we'll call it something else, because the problem now is we're gonna have a lot of, well, let's see, plugins. Hold on, did I save it? I didn't see the plugin load. Register functional tag. I see. Let's call it. We're gonna call it tag team. Go for another clever pun. And I'll have to change the whole README, but that'll just be an easier keyword to look for here. So it should be symlinked. It should be, right? Like if we go to our plugins, let's see. Yeah, functional tags. Should have our inits. Okay, so our plugin should be loaded, right? And cat. We register the init function. That indentation is not right. What happened here? What's going on here? Oh, you're killing me, Smalls. Visual Studio Code. Not okay, man. Let us. Oh, there, that tabs. Yes, and now let's also. What do I want to do? I want to. That should work. Yeah, so I can just do that, but there's a setting I think I'm gonna show. I don't want to do show white space. I want white space to be. Yeah, but like, I guess if I don't see the arrow, then it's not a tab and it's spaces, and that was the problem. So now we don't have mixed tabs and spaces anymore. So let's see. I think my init may have just not actually been doing anything. But now it should be. So I'll restart. And again, the nice thing is we're got the same one. So now we should be able to tag team. Tag team. Wah, wah, wah. What's not being loaded here? Hold on. Oh, I just forgot to actually edit the thing I cared about. Log error. Plugin tag team loaded. I've restarted Binge like 5 times. Pretty certain that's not the issue. What am I doing wrong? It's not loaded. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Which build is this? No, 6.9. That should be. There was a bug where plugins weren't being loaded, but I thought Peter pushed the fix to that. I should absolutely be on the latest dev. That should be working. And yeah, I've got all. Well, these are all plugin manager plugins. They're not necessarily user plugins. See plugins. And nes.py is here. Oh, I have nes.py twice because I have it as let's uninstall the community manager version. Restarting. No, actually, let's just go back. Loaded NES. Okay, loaded NES, loaded sample plugin. All right, so it's loading sample plugin, NES. Okay, so these are being loaded. What's up with functional tags? Okay, so functional tags. So first of all, RM functional tags. Tag team. I like that way better. And tag team. Tag team. Okay. Functional tags. Tag team. Functional. Okay. All right. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay. So let's see. Now I've got my inits. Permissions are right. They're readable. I've saved this, right? I should be able to like parse it. isLeaf is not defined. What do you mean isLeaf is not defined? Oh, that's right. Okay, well, that's one problem. I don't know why I wasn't seeing that error. But yeah, there was the reason I had my tags down here, because I couldn't point at the functions that are yet to be. I guess I could have done it as a string and used eval or something else. But that's why I have this data structure down here. So that was the error, why it wasn't loading. I still don't know why I wasn't seeing the errors, though. I still should have seen... should have seen those pop up. All right, let's see if we were actually loading tag team. NES sample. I still don't see tag team loaded. What's going on? So I'm going to run with some extra debugging on here. Why don't I see my plugin being loaded? Something foolish. Let's see if I can actually, let's see. Did I not save it that time? isLeaf. Def isLeaf. isLeaf. Why can't I see the whole thing here either? I mean, yeah. isLeaf. It's defined right here. What's going on? There's a couple of tabs there. Maybe that wasn't... shouldn't have mattered. So let me just see if I can figure out... am I like editing the wrong file? Against tag team. Wait, how is that? I saved it. Hold on. Hold on, VS Code. What are you doing? I was editing the wrong file. Okay, yeah, which one am I doing? Okay. No, what are you doing? Hold on. Where is the actual file? Go to containing folder. Seriously, Visual Studio Code? That's terrible. That's terrible. All right, let's try again. Tag team code here. Move you over here. Edit this file. Move this down. And now, is the file actually... I'm so confused. Why are you not saving this file, Visual Studio Code? Save. Oh, I know why. That's so funny. The hotkey I'm hitting is the Mac hotkey. No, it's because I'm hitting Command S and not Control S. I used Control WQ a couple of times, or Control W a couple of times, I thought there, but I think it's just literally my muscle memory being wrong. Hey, all right. All right, so. Yeah, okay. Importing Binary Ninja with UI plugins when there's no UI was not, those plugins weren't working, but that's fine. But tag team report is loaded. Okay, so now let us get rid of the log error tag team loaded. Remember to hit the right hotkey. Oof, that was awkward. And this one, let's just do this. All right, so now we're in. I still don't see tag team. Why don't I still see tag team? Okay, so I guess we're going to go back and we're going to put that log error back. We're going to cat that. Yes. Maybe this init is not a good idea. I don't think that's it. Like paranoid. I'm making sure every save actually saves. It's not loading. Like it's just not loading the plugin. What? Okay, plugin folder, init.py. Wait, did I already do this? Oh, I did it with a different plugin before. This one's not being loaded either, is it? This is the same bug. Oh no, Peter, is this your bug still? I thought this was fixed. I think this is the bug. Yeah, I think this is actually, yeah, Josh, I did the -d-e earlier and it didn't have any info. I think this is, let's try this. I'm afraid tag team loaded. I think the latest dev is not fixed, Peter. Is not fixed. Not on Linux. I know you had some problems with Windows users, but I think Linux is broken too still. So tag team's loaded on latest stable, and then if I load latest dev 2669, no loaded. Yup. That's the bug. All right, BRB. All right. Yeah, Peter. All right. Hey, now this is why it's on dev. To be fair, this is although actually the real answer here is that we need to have better unit tests for loading plugins. We actually turn off all plugins explicitly for unit tests, partly because like if you have an architecture plugin or if you have any other plugins turned on, they change the state of analysis. And so we actually have environment variables that you can set, which are documented somewhere in here, I believe. Yeah, bn disable user plugins. And I think there's another one with like a user settings file. There's a couple like environment variables you can set to that are really, we primarily use them for unit testing. And so we actually intentionally turn off all plugins, but we don't want them to be turned off in this particular case. We need a separate test where we turn them on. Excuse me. We want a plugin to load both a repository plugin, a bare plugin, by which I just mean like nes.py, right? So nes.py is still being loaded, you'll notice. And so if I just copy my init, so just copy tag team, init tag team.py, for example. And now if I restart latest dev, now it's being loaded. Yeah, that's exactly the bug. That's exactly what it is. All right, I'm not crazy. That's good. That's always a nice feeling. But we're not going to be able to automatically install dependencies because we're going to delete. We're going to go back to stable, and we are going to just be working on this plugin version, which is fine. I actually don't need to do any plugins, so it's not the end of the world. But so my plugin should be loaded. Now let's find all my bugs, because now we'll find all the things that I wrote that are broken in the actual script, right? So let's see, tag team. Oh yeah, there it is. Tag team. Okay, well, pv.tag types. So let's look through here and see if our tags, stub function, large function, complex function. Okay, so I see the tags that I expect to see from the output from our plugin. And let's see, let's look at the API docs for tags. Where are we? So let's look at the, okay, function tags. All right, so we should be setting function tags in our plugin. Create user function tag. So for fn in bv.functions print fn dot, I forgot it already, function tags. Okay, so here are, let's actually do, here. Clearly have an extra new line I need. Oh, right, because it is already a print. All right. So we've got stub function, which is a boot. I like that. Our leaf function, which is a leaf. This doesn't. Oh, we do have large function, right? Which makes sense. Main is specifically large, and we. You'll notice I can from somewhere else. I can click on main here now. That didn't used to be a thing, but it's kind of nice. It'll just navigate you right to it. I'm actually going to turn off reflection for now because I'd rather see more in our log window and our Python window. Even though normally I like it. So this is going to let us navigate. Now the thing though is that we have no cross references to main. It's a mock O, so that might be why. Let's open samples. Let's do the challenge 2.elf. Because then we should see libc start main. Yeah. All right, so let's do the same thing here. And tag team. All right, so we've got a stub function in the form of start. And main is large and complex. Sure, right? We faked it by changing our settings. But we've got that one. And then, so, if we see any, actually, here's a question though. So put char is, yeah, so that's the only downside of like the function tags is they don't show up anywhere else except the function header. And then I think yeah, you really would kind of want them at the call address to that functions too, which we could either do in our plugin. There's a couple things that we could do now. So one thing we might want to do is we could just switch this, or we can create the tags. We can also do Visual Studio Code. What you doing? Why are you working convert indentation to tabs? Oh, because it thinks I'm trying to. No, it's just wrong. Visual Studio Code. You're drunk. Go home. Let's see. Tag type emoji plus fn.name. So, well, beginning or the end, I guess it doesn't really matter. We could do it the other way around and do fn.name plus. Let's just add the emoji just the end of the name. I think this will be just a little bit cleaner for now. Maybe we'll make this a setting. We'll play with it later. So now if we, oh, and actually I want to turn off, oops, I restarted it and then it already moved on. Let's get rid of this one, and then where's the print? I already turned that off. All right. Also, I would really like ideas. If you guys have other interesting properties you think would be fun to do for a function, like what are, like you open a binary, string cross references maybe. Like if the function has string cross references in it, maybe we could put a tag on it, or what else? What else would be interesting? I don't know. Let's think of some. Give me some ideas of some more features that we should add. Oh wait, what did I do here? I opened up another one. All right. So we're registering it. We're gonna rename the plugin. That's what we're gonna do. Oops, show tags at locations, not what I wanted. Tag team. Uh-oh, that means I have an error. I feel like I should be seeing parsing errors, but I'm... No? Oh man, did I mess it up again? Did I mess it up again? Function name. That looks like it should be fine. Did I save it? Save. Which version is this? It's the wrong version. Keep forgetting. Okay. All right. Stable binary digest stream challenge 2.elf samples challenge 2. All right. So now if we tag team, we should have, yay! All right, so now we've actually I think it's a little bit easier to see them on the list. That would actually be nice, if you could turn on and off a column for tags in the symbol list. That would be super nice. Because I don't like if you tag a function, you probably want to see it everywhere that function's called. So I feel like tags should probably automatically show up here. Yeah, exactly. Game Mind, that's exactly what I'm fully on board with that. I think it would be better if you could just turn on and off the visibility of the tags in like everywhere that function is called. Now you can already do the visibility of the tags like this. So like if I wasn't doing the names and we were just looking at like right here in the function prototype, actually no, here. No, these are all the named ones. Hold on, yeah, let's turn off names real quick. Oops. Right. So in fact, actually, I think a lot of this is because I'm in the high level IL views, and some of these only show up. That's actually the bigger problem. Yeah, I think I haven't used this function in a while since we defaulted to ILs. I think that's actually part of the problem too. But even these right here, yeah, it'd be nice if you could just turn on and off. Then here, turn on and off tags here. Let's go to our settings, because I think Piston Miner is like, oh, come on, you're taunting me with this. I am actually going to go look at, because I wrote this once already, I'm going to go steal my own code. I added this to the BNIL graph, or the very first one of the implementations of this. I think Ryan's done other settings since then. But so here's how the settings work, right? Let's just grab 2 of these, because that's all we need. And we want to do this right off the top, and we want to convert to tabs. So we're going to register a group, and we're going to call it tag team. Tag team plugin description. The settings, we're going to do tag team. All right, so what setting do we want to add? Let's add first large, let's see, yeah, large func, which is number of basic blocks to be considered large. And it's either int or integer. Let's go see if there's an example over here already. These are just booleans. So let's go look at the register setting API. Where's API docs? I'm trying to close. There we go. Register setting. All right. Type. So the properties. It just describes a setting schema. I remember there's some documentation. I think it's somewhere else in here with more. Oh, there we go. Integer, get bool. Do we have a better example to types? This is really, really nifty, by the way, too. This whole sentence here Yeah, piston miner. I think switch statements are a great idea. That's a fantastic one. Um, so the fact that you can set this schema, like the scope of a setting, is actually pretty nifty. We're not going to use it here, but you can control, like you could have your settings applied just to that particular binary view. You could have them applied, and it will actually be saved into the BNDB when it gets saved, or you could have it be like the global user setting. I'm just going to use global user settings because we're going to the user wants the same setting when they run the script, but you can do them. You can do all the different ways. So, I mean, let's just try. I feel like this is probably documented somewhere and I'm just not remembering where. So I'm just gonna try integer. We'll try int. I don't see it. I don't see exactly what it is. So we'll try int. Default is 40 and description title. Let's say number of basic blocks. Okay. Functions with more than this number of basic blocks will be considered large. Okay, so that's large func. And we're going to have complex func, will be their next one. With cyclomatic complexity scores above this will be considered complex. Okay, so 40 and 40 was what these were before I did that. So we've created the settings, we've set the default, they'll be registered, but now we actually need to read them in to the scope of our plugin. And because we're going to make our plugin a little bit more dynamic, we're actually going to pull these out and let's load them in. So if I put them in the start, every time that I trigger the function, it'll be queried. But I need to have, see, VS Code, why are you bad? There's a way to change the setting so that it like gets smarter. I don't like to do that. VS Code detect tab spaces. What do I need to do? By default, it auto detects. Really? Because detect indentation. Okay, so you're just bad at detecting it, VS Code. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's literally no spaces on any line here, and yet, you've decided unilaterally if I do a new indented line. Okay, see that one's, yeah, I don't understand when it's using spaces. All right. So the next thing is we need to actually read back our settings, right? So that's how we set our settings. And again, I'm just going to go back to BNL graph. You're going to use this tag for the setting, which, if you're in the UI and you're in settings, I turn this on. Where is it? Where's the setting about the settings? It's in here. I thought it used to be a checkbox. Where'd it go? Settings identifiers. There we go. Yeah, I like this feature. I usually turn this on because then I can actually copy and paste the setting name out into something else. So that's what this value that we're using right here comes from, right? So, and we specifically want to find our next, there we go, settings.get bool or get integer, get int. All right, and ours are get integer. Okay. So this is called infrequently enough, just once per function. So I'm just going to do it here. Oh, you can right click in the settings view. Thanks, Brian. So let's double check that. Oh yeah, right there. That's also another nice place for it. But and that also change it in both places, which is nice. So you can do either way. But but get integer tag team. So let's just tag team. Yeah, complex. So this is large func. So is large returns that. All right, and then complex. Complex func is complex, same kind of thing. We're just gonna do get integer, get tag team, complex func. So now, if I didn't make any typos or errors and it loads, let's see, did our tag team load? No. Oh, invalid type. Okay, so I guessed wrong. It needs to be integer. I think this is actually JSON type. And actually, since Brian's in, he might have corrected me too, or if I missed it. Yeah. A way to prompt for the user configuration at install time. Sort of. Yeah, you absolutely. I mean, you could do this actually. So in this particular case, I set these as the defaults, right? But instead, what I could do is I can do interactions to do the interaction APIs. And not integer fields. Prompt get int input, right? There we go. So get int input, prompt, and then the title. Default complexity value. Complexity, right? And then it'll be like, what do you want to set it to? You know, so I can get a default value from the user there. Oh, number instead of integer. Number. Where? Oh man. All right. All right. Where is that documented? And where should be documented if it's not currently then? Because that's. I mean, I probably could have just done a grep and found it somewhere else, but still, that would be nice if we had some docs on that. And I might just be missing it. So yeah, so this get in out input here. So to answer your question, Piston Miner, what I would do is I would basically say at the very, very start of my plugin right up here, I would query that setting, and if it doesn't exist, you know, just do a try settings get integer tag team.complex func. And then, you know, if it fails, it means I didn't actually have the setting. This is the first time I've ever run. I don't have it. And then I would do the interaction dot get int input. Please give default, you know, whatever setting you want to do there. So doing this here, yeah, because this, I mean, Brian will confirm this to double check me, but because this is the setting system that's a user setting, this is not, doesn't have like a resource scope. Oh man, my face gets more and more red. Like now that the windows have gone down, those lights are like, ooh, the red and the blue are pretty bright. Ooh, that was noisy. A little softer, too soft, whatever. I'll play with the aesthetic later, as my daughter would say. But yes, I believe you can do that at startup. Let's actually test this. And so to test it, we're gonna do it this way. So how do I want to do this? Now this is complex is equal to that. And if the user cancels it, I think they get a none. Let's see. Yep. You get none type. So if not complex equals 40. Right, so we could do something like this. So we just set whatever default that we want. And then we'll make this nav string, and we'll put that in there. That was large, wasn't it? But whatever, same thing applies. So we could do this. Let's try it. Yeah, I believe this will work, but I don't know offhand. So large func, large. This is not super user friendly, so I probably won't push it as is, but this will be a good test whether it works. Now to test this, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to Killbot Ninja. I'm going to go into my user settings, because I'm actually going to have those settings in my settings file if I've changed them. Oh, and I didn't change them. Okay, that's right. Because I didn't actually change them, the default it won't be there. So that's nice. And I'm going to remember to not run binary ninja dev stable. Okay. And then it helps if I don't have missing colons and I pay attention to the syntax warnings that my IDE was already giving me. Is it? Right, wrong one. Can you do F triple quotes? Let's find out. Let's find out. All right, let's see if this works. With the large is not defined. So this might be a problem with that approach, Piston Miner. You might be right. Because the UI might not have loaded at this point, the settings API might not, or I might not be able to, so wait, hold up. Yeah, I might not be able to call the interaction API. Wait, that's not what I want to, where do we go? Why am I copying the wrong thing? Too many copy paste cells. Okay. Missing title. That wasn't the error I got, though. The error I got is invalid setting. Oh, right. And then... we need to throw an exception. I bet we don't. I bet we log error and we don't throw an exception. So, I mean, that's fine. It's less Pythonic. I can just check for it. Oh, thank you. That said, I still don't think it's going to work. I think this is specifically not triggering an exception. So what I need to do is this instead. Basically, just do that. Let's try that. And yeah, oops. It is still wrong though. Interaction. Why is that being bubbled? No. Oh, that's right. That's cool. Now I need the title. So get input is supposed to give me complex value. Large function. And perhaps if I don't mess my string up here. Both my warnings went away. Oops, nope, cancel. Cancel. Cancel abort. Invalid setting, tab team, complex function, large function, but it didn't pop up, did it? So my warning might still be true. Log infos complex is type complex. Log info is not fine. Yeah, it is not, is it? Let's try that again. Oh, there we go. Okay, please give a default. It gives you no context. So it's not a great user experience, but does it otherwise work? Large func, invalid format specifier. Yeah, it might not like this, so we can do it. Let me just do that. All right. Kind of surprised you can't do triple quote F strings. Maybe I'm just not doing it right. All right. I need this. Well, just for clarity's sake. But see, that's not good either because I should be. All right, I'm gonna like leave off with this for now because I don't think this is critical. There's a way to do that workflow, I think, and I think if you did it right. So instead of using the settings initialized this way, as Brian was saying, using the settings, using the default setting level, which is settings instance ID default. Yeah, Brian, can you chime in if you're still listening? The how to get the other scope when you query the settings in the first place, because I think it's you don't use just like settings initialized that way. And so if I use that, then I can check if the user has ever made those settings. In the meantime, I'm just going to go back to defaulting to this and letting the user set them. 40. Yep. Cool. Yeah. No, it's a really nice capability. Settings are really well engineered and have lots of cool features. And I think just being able to like, so now actually let's check this out. So let's actually go back into our settings. And if we look, we should have, so there's being on a graph here, there's those settings, and then there should be tag team plugin. There we go. So we've got our integer pickers. We can even use a mouse wheel to set to a different value, and then right click on it and you can choose a reset, go back to the default. So yeah, the settings for a plugin works really well. So let's do this. Let's we should be able to open challenge 2.elf. We should go to main and tag team. So this is complex, but it's not large, interestingly enough. So cyclomatic complexity of this one triggered above 40, but the size did not, which makes sense. But now if I make the large considered 10, and then I rerun it, now it's going to show as large, being irrelevant for being large. So there we go. All right, now there was one advanced UI features. I mean, oh, this like the scroll wheel mouse. Well, that's just because Brian's done a really nice job kind of building out the features of it, I think. So let's see. The other suggestion, somebody in chat had a good point on, oh, switch statements, right? Yeah, just a minute, you said that. Big switch statements. So let's find a binary with a big switch statement and consider how we might do that. I don't know if I have one handy. None of these are gonna do it. Oh, you know what? The bomb lab. Let's go look at the source for those and see if any of those look like they might be. Let's go 5 files. Bomb. Oh, BinLS. Great call. Yep, it does. I use it all the time. Thank you. All right, so BinLS right here in main, actually, the very first thing. It just doesn't. All the arg parsing stuff it does is right in here. The only question will be, it might not be shown as one giant switch statement. Or it is. Here we go. And just look at all these. There it is, right over here. Switch racks 14. Yeah, this bad boy. This counts as a fun parser, and so does. These are all the failure. This is all we'll just loop back around. Yeah. Okay. And just for kicks, let's go to assembly. All right, so we're getting this jump racks here. All right, so what we're going to do is our plugin is going to, let's iterate over high level IL because I don't do it enough. Oh, I mean, if there's like a default case at the end, you might see a bunch. You said there's a bunch of comma separated ones. There's some weird ones here, like this is obviously not like an ASCII character, so I don't know what it's actually checking for. So I don't know what. Yeah, we actually RE the source out and try to figure this out later, but that's invalid tab size. Hey, I bet you this one sets the tab size. So just for kicks, dash capital T. So this represents a capital T. D7, but D7 is clearly not. Just for, let's see, let's look at, yeah. Yeah, so it's remapping the range of values. So like the actual character you typed in is getting remapped, right? So it's going to load as like an index into the base of this structure, it looks like. So here's all the valid switches. Anyway, yeah, I don't need to be reversing ls. Oh, I don't think we actually displayed something as default right now. I don't know though. That's actually a good question. I don't think there is like a recognition of like this is every other possible case. But I could be wrong on that. I don't actually know. I don't know enough about how that happens. So what I was about to say is actually I like this as a good scripting exercise because I don't use high level IL enough. I haven't actually done it as much. So what we're going to do is, we know this function qualifies as switchy. We'll call this is switchy. And what I mean by is switchy is it contains a switch statement with a lot of potential jump targets on it. So first it's going to cheat. I'm going to look at one that I know that is current high level IL 488. We got a switch statement, and we're going to look for cases. There's literally just len of cases. Right, and this is really like the beauty of like why binary scripting is so clean and so nice, is because that I had no idea off the top of my head how to do that, but it's literally if the operation is an HLL case, then we look for the len of the cases on it, and we're done. So like that tells me everything I need to know to do is switchy. So def is switchy function for h in fn.hlil.instructions. Right. If h dot is it operation, I think, right? Current high level IL 488 dot operation is equal to high level operation dot switch. And we're going to steal that for our script. If len of h dot cases is greater than large switch, we'll do the same thing with another setting. We'll do settings get integer tag team dot large switch, or actually just say, can just return that. Return that. Return false. Okay, so now we need to add large switch up here. If it has more than 10, we're going to call it. With switch statements with more than this many cases are considered switchy. All right. Now we're going to make it 10. And so, no, the best part though now, right? So we've made our function, but now we need to add it and choose the emoji. Pistominer, this was your suggestion. So I'll let you choose the emoji. What would be a good emoji for a switchy function? Switchy function. Wait, what am I doing here? What? Oh, yeah. So, fun fact, you can get weird behavior. Because of the emoji in this line. VS Code does not even like it. Because that actual emoji takes multiple characters. So you can get weird behavior. Description. Function contains a large switch statement. Is switchy. Keep doing a T there, like. Actually, wait, I do need a T there, right? That's how switch ITCH. Let's do ITCHY. Is switch. Large switch, okay. Is SWITCHY, okay, switchy. All right, that looks pretty good. All right, what's the vote? A tree one, which that's a great idea. Let's look for a tree. So tree emoji, spider web emoji was the other suggestion. Let's we got a pine tree, or no, let's see, it's evergreen, deciduous. I think a deciduous probably looks like it has more branches. So let's go with, and let's look at the spider web. Whoa, my mouse wheel is still going. Oops. Reset, please. And a spider web's not bad either. All right, Pistominer, your choice. You want to do the spider web or you want to do the tree branch? They both look good to me. All right, I'll choose one for now. I think we'll go for just the deciduous branch, tree, switch statements. Web, I feel like we might find another thing that would be useful for it, so we'll save that. But those are both good choices. So we're gonna put that in here and find out what I broke. Open binls, run tag team. See, I told you it works. Okay. Oh, right. This is good practice, right? I'm forcing myself to actually enumerate all of the. I don't need trees imported. HLL operation. I don't remember if I have to do the enum or not. Why are you not? Paste? Oh, come on. I really am still not used to. It's been too long since Linux was my daily driver, and so I always get the multiple clipboards wrong now. All right. My emoji judgment. No, trust me. My teenage children tell me that I do not have good emoji judgment. In fact, I had a long lesson from my daughter the other day about how the laughing while crying emoji is just out. It's just out. Gen Z has decided that it is not acceptable anymore, and so us boomers, millennials, and everybody else can just get used to it. Okay, it's taken a second, and now let's switch over to assembly view. Oh, is that our tree? Our tree doesn't look very good. Oh no, you know what? This means it has multiple. So show tags at location. Once you have more than 2 or 3 tags, it actually puts those dots. And so there's actually, I think there's a setting though that controls that. Let's check. It's like gutter width or something. Yeah, you can actually crank this up, I think. Linear view gutter width, and that's how many characters are for tags. So I think if I make that like 8, and then I go to main, do I have to reload it? I might. Let's try this again. Let's reload that, because that would be nice. Tag team. Let's wait till analysis is done. So we didn't get to make this a background thread, which would have not blocked the UI, which is one of the things I was thinking about doing. But I want to get to the next stage of it before we're done. I also have a lot of variables because I think I have show variable types on. If I turn that off, it'll shrink that up a fair amount. There we go. So by cranking up the width there, we've got all of our functions. You can see main is both complex, large, cyclomatic complexity. Oh, it has loops. I think this one actually means it has loops. That was large, and this one means it has branches. So main is interesting, but yeah, what you really would rather see is I think what might be nice too, maybe next week we'll build this out to build a function report where it'll actually give us the list of these properties or function tags as well. We actually have a different plugin that we worked on a while ago that did something similar. One second. Okay, so that's that. All right, so we have our plugin. I'm happy with it. Let's actually take a screenshot. How do you take a screenshot? Linux print screen, right? Where's my print screen button? I don't know how to do this. Oh, I don't know what I just did. I think I just killed Binary Ninja by hitting the print screen button. Okay. Well, that wasn't. Wait. That's a different window. That's not it. Okay. Wait, was it? Yeah, it was. Okay. Oh, it just got moved. Yeah. So the print screen hotkey on my keyboard did not do what I expected, but I think I can. Let's look at my modify launch application command. Probably Command Shift Space has. I think we'll probably do. No, Command Shift Space. Screen. GNOME screenshot. Okay. So that got us a screenshot, probably. Let's see if it put it in downloads or in desktop. Home, maybe. Pictures. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. So open screenshot. So we're gonna get our little media XDG open screenshot. That's not a great screenshot, is it now? All right. Well, I'm not super worried about it. Let's just can we edit it from here? Oh, all right. Let's yeah, I need like a screenshot timer. I need like a timer, or I need to have mapped to a hotkey or something. I'm not gonna mess with that now. Let's pretend I had a screenshot and I put it in the description for my plugin. Current folder, I do want to initialize. You can also publish to GitHub. There's like a button in VS Code. Of course it is. Microsoft owns both now. So I've initialized it as a Git repo, which I did want to do anyways. And here's the last step of getting this plugin published, right? So I don't actually have creds to publish to GitHub inside my VM. I keep that isolated. So I'm actually going to do this off stream outside, but I'm going to show you what I would be doing. Tag team. if I was here, right? So git status. All right, so I'd add all the files. I would commit it, and then I would use do release. All right, so this is the key thing here. So this do release plugin will actually do pip 3 import install git. No frequency analysis on my. Pip git. What's it called? Python-git. It is super annoying to me that like half the things in Git that you just import by Git, you have to type Python dash, but half you don't. Like, you know, figure it out. Just try it, and if it works, and if it doesn't, that's on you. I already did that. Okay, so one more. No module found in Git. Well, what did you just install when I typed Python Git? Is that actually a separate? Well, it looks like I need to figure out the requirements of my own package. Do release. GitHub release is another one I definitely do need. That might actually have the dependencies that I want for GitHub and Git as well. No module named Git. No. All right, Google, can you help me? Git Python. Of course. There's pip python-git, and then there's install git python. And neither one of those corresponds to the actual module name that you import once it's installed. Right. No problem. Thought we already did that. We did. Is this gonna be another case of you know, like if there wasn't actually a module named the wrong name, all right. Cool. All right. So now that's our dependencies. At least you can find it on stream. Could it be worse? I don't know. Those are like super annoying that they would be. None of them match the actual name of the module. There are other modules with the same name that do match the module that are not the right mod. Like, what a nightmare. All right. So this, I can specify a new version, a description of the release, and what this will do is, first of all, it like has some nice features. It'll actually check if you have uncommitted code. So like if I try to do this right now and say this is description, initial release v1.0. Clearly I need to fix a bug. Oh, there is no remote. Yeah. This makes sense because I've never actually pushed this repo anywhere. So that's why it's erroring. I guess I could have a little bit better error handling. But once I've actually got this pointed at, and I've pushed this to GitHub to like actually have a remote configured, I can run this command, and this will do all of the magic I need to do to create a release to add it to the Binary Ninja repository. And now this is the key thing that just changed. So it used to be, once you did that, you would say, cool, I published my plugin, I've got the tag and all that stuff. This is also documented on the blog. I want to say here. Nope. Documented here, plugin manager blog post. This explains this whole process as well. But if you just use those two utility scripts that I pointed you to, then you don't have to worry about that. And so it used to be like once you did that, you would then go to the community plugin manager, which I can find in one of my many histories, I think. There's all right, there we go. There's official. So, and you would create a issue, and you would say, oh, look, actually, there's one that I missed. I need to add that one. and you would create your new issue and say, please add my tag team plugin that I've just made. And then every time you had a new release, you wanted to cut a new release, then with the plugin manager, you would have to run those scripts, generate the tag, update the plugin JSON, push the release, and then make sure all the tags were all, like, lined up, and then come back and comment again and say, please update my release. So we've removed that last step now. So the nice thing is, now if you actually look at this community plugins repo, this listing.json, there used to be versions where you had to have a specific version in here, and you still can if you want to pin it to a particular version. But you can also just auto update, and which I expect everyone to do, because that just means if you say auto update, anytime you or anytime we see a plugin's been updated, anytime that this happens, we subscribe to them in a Slack channel so we get notifications. We can run our script and it will just grab the latest release, whatever it is, and do all the automatic updates. So that just simplifies things for everybody, I think. You don't have to let us know every single time you do an update. You just use the script, it pushes the update out, and there you go. So that's everything we need. Our tag team plugin, like I said, as soon as I get off stream here, I'm gonna push this up to GitHub. We'll add it to the community plugin manager. Maybe I'll fix that screenshot and we'll get that. So sorry for the little gotcha there where the plugin wasn't loading for a while. That's fine. We'll link around it in the timestamps when we post those. Any other questions before we take off? So Piston Miner, that's why I'm not a Linux user normally. Oh, a visually branchy tree. There's a different... can you do this? No. F33, but I don't see any other questions. U plus. Oh, 1F. I missed the 1. That's why. Oh, the palm tree one? Yeah, we could do palm tree. It looks like it has fewer branches, but it's... Sure. Absolutely. Let's do that. Really? Come on. Okay. Is this an image? That may be why. No? Wow. Paste. There we go. Okay. We got that. Cool. All right. Well, I don't see any questions, and I think I'm about out of time. Thanks, everybody, for showing up on an off day. We'll be back next week. We should be back at the same time on Friday, and we will, for future weeks, and then I've got a couple weeks off on vacation, and then after that, we'll resume based on, I don't know if y'all have feedback, we'll put something out on Twitter or whatever. So thanks again for hanging out, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.